Okay, I guess I will start with introducing myself. Some of you might know me and some of you not. I'm Ganna Boitsova. I'm Associate Director for Experience Consulting for Ukrainian team. I have been in customer experience management for about 6 years, meaning that I have been in trend watching and trend analysis the same time, because when you are working in customer experience, you need to understand what's going on, how it works, how it influences customer behaviors, and how customer behaviors influence your projects. So trends have been my kind of hobby thing and also a professional piece for quite a lot. And today I'm happy to share some things that I have gathered. So hopefully it will be not only fun, but also useful for some of you. I will be sharing my screen now. I'm just go to presentation mode now and hope everything goes fine.
Yeah, again, a quick comment in case of any comments or feedback, chat. Should I interrupt you or?
Yes.
How are we going
yes.
to? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it like this. I will be in presentation mode, and I hate skipping from presentation to chat. So, Sergey, if you don't mind assisting me with chat things, I would be super grateful. You just read it aloud as soon as it appears, because as always, I'm absolutely happy to have a open discussion format, especially on such an interesting topic as trends, because it sometimes provokes debating or something. So I'm happy to discuss. So I'm in presentation mode now. Is everything fine?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay, great. So today we're talking about global CX and consumer trends. And by CX and consumer, I mean almost every possible aspect of your life, of your professional and personal daily routine. Everything goes under this umbrella, because every touch point you have, every emotion you get as a result of this interaction falls under CX, meaning that every trend, every new pattern that you are observing might fit into this paradigm. So let's talk about it a bit. It is a usual thing to discuss trends at the beginning of a year to see how the year will be shaping. And to be honest, last year was far from ordinary, especially for myself and my friends and colleagues from Ukraine. And it will be obviously influenced hugely years to come. But luckily for us, last year, not only bad things happened, we also had good things happening, large things. And this mix and this powerful change in our environment, in economics, in our lives, in our mindsets, will be shaping our future, our professional life, our projects and products we create. And it's nice to know and to see how exactly this will be happening. For most of you, your profession relates somehow to creating products and services. Whether you are a designer, an engineer, a researcher, anything else, things that you are creating in your professional life, you are creating them for ordinary people, for users, for customers. And these customers, they have their behavioral patterns, which change all the time. They cannot stop evolving. And if you manage to catch these little changes and you find the way to adjust to them, and you manage to find a way to be a little bit ahead of this wave, it will help you to create products and services that would stick to with your customers. And in your personal life, knowing trends would help you to make the most of this brave new world we're entering, because years to come are full of unsteadiness, but also are full of unexpected new horizons. So it's nice to have an idea of how things will work in the nearest future. And before I move to the actual trends I have been gathering for you, I invite you to do some collective thinking, to think together, and probably even to share it in chat. To think of the trends that you are now witnessing, observing, starting to notice in your life. what comes to your mind first when you think of trends? Obviously, most people would think of some fancy technological AR, VR, metaverse things, but I invite you to go a bit outside of this technology paradigm and think of your daily routines. What new patterns you start noticing as a member of your community, as a professional, probably as a parent, as a child of senior parents, as a patient to your doctor. Think of the small things that start appearing, that start emerging, and you start noticing. And if you write a couple of words about this in chat, it would be great to have a look at that and probably to compare with the list of trends I'm going to share with you to see what we have in common on our mind. And while you are thinking of this, I want to share an interesting story which demonstrates a trend for me. Recently, it is a story about an American family which gone viral in Facebook. A mom needed to ask her daughter to take some food out of the freezer so that she is able to cook it afterwards. And she rang her daughter on mobile, and her daughter didn't reply because obviously she was playing Roblox. And if you answer your phone while playing Roblox on the phone, it kicks you all out. And the daughter didn't want to answer, so she declined the phone. Mom got angry, so she logged in on Roblox. She had an account too, and she found her daughter there in the Roblox space. She found her in her car. She jumped into her car and typed the message for her. You can see it on the picture. Take the lasagna out of the freezer and garlic bread so I can cook it. And only after that, daughter went and took the food out of the freezer, etc. So that's a funny story, which demonstrates not only, I don't know, how spoiled modern kids are getting stuck on their phones, but for me, this story shows that gaming space, metaverse space, becomes so much more than just a gaming process, that it becomes a space for communication, that it becomes a space for something new, so much outside the gaming process. And it will be giving birth to much wider things and much wider concepts that are yet to come. So that's just to illustrate how things start evolving and changing in our daily routines, supported by technologies. And it would be interesting to have a look that probably some of you have put something in chat. Sergey, how about our chat?
I'm here, yeah. Everything is constantly appearing in the top right corner, so I was not able to unmute. Yeah, we got a lot in chat, so let me read it quickly. So, society polarization, that's from Anna, and becoming more conscious as a parent. Services moving online. The next one is from my side. So I can recognize a lot of, especially content for kids without any particular plot and story. So this is just streaming some random weird stuff. And this is crazy because that's kind of old school stuff, but I use that every piece of content to be useful, to be interesting, and to literally save my time. Supposed to be, interesting and have a particular story behind. But I can see a lot of kids just watching something like, I don't know, kids unboxing some toys. Yeah.
Yes.
Kids eating and all of that. Kids walking. That's it. And that's a little bit annoying, I should say. Next one from Andre. So information/distractions overload. From Anna. Medicine health becomes telemedicine online with AI. Algorithmic populism. AI chatbots. Personalization is increasing. Customers' ability to interact with the product. That's quite close to what Mommy did, right? Alternative energy sources. AI, algorithms, crypto money. That's it. Hey guys, one of you is unmuted. Please mute.
Yeah, I can hear that too.
So we got plenty, as you can see.
Okay, that's great. Most of these deeply resonate with me, especially yours one, Sergey, about senseless content, which is not adding up to focusing, but quite vice versa. So as we move further and I share my content with you, you will see how many of the trends that you have mentioned definitely take shape and are actually happening. So let's have a look at that. So today we are going to travel along 8 areas of our life. I will start with the technology trends like robots, Web3, Metaverse things, but I will not get too deep into that because as most of you guys are somewhat related to tech industry, you most probably hear and read a lot of this part of life. And for me, it would be much more interesting to show you more about other aspects of life, how our daily routines, how our small household habits influence the technologies that arise. So we will have 8 stops covering trends in different areas of life, and hopefully some of those will resonate with you as well. Just to mention that the trends that I will be showing are sourced by a number of very detailed analytical trend analysis reports produced by such agencies as Hunter, Forrester, Euromonitor International, and just endless number of separate articles on trends. So if any of you is interested in going deeper into trend watching, I strongly recommend Trend Hunter and Euromonitor International reports. They have very strong analytical background. They have statistical and quantitative argumentation to every trend, to every picture they show. I will not overload you with some figures or with numbers today. My idea was to give you some qualitative input, but if you get interested in some numbers supporting these trends, proving that it is a trend, all the numbers are there, and I will be happy to share and to answer your questions. So let's go. We will start with robots and artificial intelligence, and I promise you that this is the only statistics I will be showing you today. I just couldn't help showing it because it's very interesting. It shows how differently different generations react to being served or being communicated with a robot. For example, robot preparing the meal in a restaurant. And you can see, like, for example, in the first case, the purple bar showing elderly people 60 plus. So we can see that Gen Z, younger people, represented by the yellow bar, are the most okay with communicating with robots. And you can see the trend here. And this trend will definitely be influencing everything that goes on in the robot and artificial intelligence section, let's say. So let's have a look how exactly robots are going to overtake our planet. There are numerous examples of how artificial intelligence now reaches a new level, reaching our lives, our daily routines in different paradigms and in different avatars. The first one is ChatGPT, which is the buzzword of this year. I'm sure most of you have already played around with that. Here I'm showing a small example. You cannot read the text, but it doesn't really matter. I requested ChatGPT to create a CX strategy for a retail brand. That is something I actually do for a living, and Chat produced quite a decent action plan to do so, but I think that I still can't compete for my job with it. So ChatGPT is only a beginning, and it definitely will be evolving further, as well as other forms of artificial intelligence, like, for example, humanoid robots, which are emotionally sensitive and are now used to support sick children with their emotions management, like the Pepper robot you can see on the second picture, or Amazon Alexa, which is now being used for medication management on the third picture. Also, technologies which are robot supported or robotized are now entering domains which were dealing without them before, Like, for example, the first one shows clockwork robot, which is used in beauty industries for painting nails, for doing manicure. It is just placed in malls in USA, and women can get their nails painted in 10 minutes, and it costs about $10 if I'm not mistaken. And when I saw this, I remembered the Fifth Element scene where the secretary of the main villain was painting her nails with a special machine. And I thought then, it was like 15 years ago, and I thought, oh my, how nice it would be to have such a machine. So it's here, the future is here. Any type of robotized maintenance, cleaning and repairing functions, or for example, robots are being used in healthcare, like on the last picture, where young patients are being transferred through virtual reality to their homes or classrooms, and there they can navigate with the support of robots located in those locations. Retail industry is one of the most benefiting ones from robots. And here we can see a wide variety of robotized assistants, starting with COVID supporting robots, as you can see on the first picture, where the robot reminds customers to put their masks on to enhance rules and restrictions related to COVID. Any type of robotic retail assistance, like on the second picture, to give you information, to provide support and customer service. And of course, any imaginable type of autonomous delivery vehicles used for e-commerce, like on the last picture for Kotkin. Moving to Web3 and Metaverse segment, related, of course, to AI. I'm sure most of you know what Web3 stands for, but for those of you who doesn't, I will explain that Web3 is a new concept of internet based on decentralized technologies and blockchain. That means that everything about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and Metaverse falls under this umbrella. And also it begins to evolve. And like if 5 years ago, crypto, NFT, and Metaverse was something very fancy and very deep tech, something that only IT crowd could get their heads around. Now situation differs, and every second person among young people knows what cryptocurrency is and how to manage that. And of course, brands cannot help reacting to that, creating new services related to this new trend. And the first large trend cluster here is Web3 literacy and apps and services related to create more literacy in young generation, because they will be primary users of crypto assets and NFT assets, and they need to know how to manage that. Like, for example, the first picture shows kid-friendly NFT educational platform, which educates both kids and their parents how NFT concepts work. Also, there is a medley of applications and services that help young people manage their assets, manage their finance, trade and rent their crypto and NFT assets, and learn how to build their financial life. Because these young people, they enter their life and the financial market, they start being employees or will be soon, and brands are using this window to educate them. Another very interesting trend around NFT is that digital assets like NFT images begin being used as actual tangible assets. For example, you can rent your NFT image, or you can lease it. You can give it as a gift. And brands are starting to pack them as gifts. They're starting to sell them as gifts. Like, for example, you can see on the second picture that Shutterfly and Iris Apfel create gift cards for NFT and crypto cards. So you can actually wrap it up as a gift, being tangible, so that you can give something to a person in their hands, to something to hold to. And also NFT as an art, as a piece of art, And brands are reacting to that, creating a number of devices that can help you. They can help you illustrate your assets. They can help you show them. For example, holocubes or different displays that you can put on the wall in your living room, showing your NFT. Like if 20 years ago you would want to have some Rothko painting, very fancy thing hanging on your wall in your living room, now you would want a display showing your NFT images. So that's actually something really life-changing. Another trend is everything happening in Metaverse. Both consumers and brands are now testing and trying out this Metaverse concept as an alternative space to bring physical experiences too. So everything that happened in physical life now is happening in Metaverse as well. Starting from Metaverse fashion shows, like for example, recently H&M have launched their first fashion show in Metaverse, and ending with Metaverse education. Like on the second picture, you can see the Elite Education City offers cross-border educational experience. It's actually looks like a university, and all the learning takes place there in the Metaverse. Metaverse hospitals, Metaverse playgrounds, retail brands go crazy branding specific spaces in Metaverse. Like for example, Nike creates their branded basketball playground. Examples are numerous, and we will see whether they stick, whether this trend sticks. But now this is actually definitely a space for some experiments. And another very important thing about Metaverse is that it is an ethical space, and it supports all the minorities, all the diversity and equality concepts, and a lot of promotional campaigns around these concepts happen there. Let's see what we have next. Moving to diversity and inclusion to support the previous topic. So diversity and inclusion is not just some trend in behavior. It's something much more. It's like a lifelong philosophy of everyone being free, having freedom of choice, having freedom to be who they are, and to feel included and to feel comfortable. It can have different expressions in our daily lives. Let's have a look at some of them. The strongest one is the focus on female equality, as I say. As surprisingly as it might sound, it is like sometimes really challenging still to be a woman and have equal rights in the modern world, especially if we talk about some minorities or some concluded communities. So brands support the idea of making lives of women easier and bringing the equality on. It starts with putting all types of female health on the map, starting with mental health and ending with physical wellness, support a large number of products and services supporting all the hormonal challenges women undertake. Like, for example, the second one is the innovative menopause product series. And the third large one is about philanthropic and community initiatives supporting women to have equal educational rights, equal professional rights. Because for us, we are part of the modern communities. It is maybe strange to hear that there can be inequality, but for some minorities, it might still be a challenge. Another large concept here is lies around gender and body neutrality concept. People being able to choose how they look, how their body looks, what gender they identify with, and not feeling shamed or guilty for that. And again, it is strongly supported by products and brands for everyone to feel comfortable with who they are. You can see the first picture showing body celebrating workouts for people who are far from model standards. The second one is the new range from Tiffany launching exclusive engagement rings for men. So ladies, that's your chance to propose to your man with a Tiffany ring. And the last one is gender dysphoria therapy. Gender dysphoria and non-binary concepts are getting more and more widespread, especially among young people, and there are a lot of challenges associated with that. And of course, wellness brands do a lot to help young people tackle those challenges. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion as a collective concept becomes the new strategy for many brands, not only in private lives, but also in professional lives. So employers start focusing on equality in female employment, like the first picture. Communities make sure they're supporting LGBTQ communities to make sure that LGBTQ people have equal opportunities to grow professionally. And one particularly interesting was a resume-free hiring strategy supported by numerous companies who seek employees based on resume-free platforms to make sure that they are not biased against females or against LGBT people when they hire their teams. So again, just to summarize this one, this becomes not only some one-off trend to drive customer behavior, but it's more like a lifelong philosophy which brands support. Another one which belongs here too is about supporting people with mental and physical disabilities and making sure that products and services are accessible by such people. And we have several interesting examples. For example, the first one shows accessible packaging for people with low to no vision with a Braille alphabet, with the Braille notes. The second one is from Tmall, which launches a range of footwear adapted for people with one foot or one leg. And of course, a huge variety of micromobility devices, scooters, and all such sort of things for physically disabled people to be accessible and to have comfortable moving around. Let's move to another philosophical concept, which is not just a trend, but again, a new philosophy of life. Is about sustainability. This is about not wasting, but spending wisely everything that is around us, all our ecological assets, taking as little as possible from our environment and producing as little waste as possible. And again, it rules and frames almost every aspect of our life, and it will be growing and growing in the future. Let's have a look at some of the examples. We'll start with sustainable packaging and delivery, which is, of course, becoming a main new focus for all the e-commerce businesses, starting with sustainable e-cargo delivery vehicles. It can be some autonomous robotized vehicle like you see on the first picture, for example, or it can be something like human operated, like you can see on this picture, where it is a bike delivery, which still is very eco-friendly. Also, we talk about every type of efficient eco packaging you can imagine, starting from cardboard and ending with biodegradable food packaging, where we're trying to get away from plastic bags, etc., etc. Another interesting concept that lies here is carbon negative concept. And we talk about materials, production processes, and separate products which emerge as a response to the ecological situation. So it can be in the form of bioplastic materials, like you can see on the first picture. It can be zero carbon architecture, like buildings built with zero carbon effect, and even whole neighborhoods, like you can see on the second picture. It's from a designer designed a huge eco-conscious neighborhood in Rome. And of course, it can be just carbon neutral products, carbon neutral food, carbon neutral whatever, produced based on the principle of carbon neutrality waste. Just a second. Okay, moving to food habits, which is more interesting. Food habits of people experience change not only in the way how people eat, but also how they try to manage waste reduction. So the trick is to combine waste reduction and healthy eating habits. And for this, for example, we now can see various alternative sources for protein. For example, cricket protein is becoming more and more popular. You can see cricket granola, cricket bars, just dried crickets packaged as cashew nuts to replicate some other types of snacks. Also, freezing habits changes in order to support waste reduction and to extend freshness of food, making you shop less and save more. For example, Sainsbury's opens separate pop-up freezers to support this one. But my favorite one is nose-to-tail restaurants all over Europe and US. Nose-to-tail concept means that while serving and cooking food, you try to use every single piece of a product, every single piece of an animal to make sure nothing is wasted. So we need to be ready to be served some unexpected pieces and bits of food that we haven't been experienced before. This is to support that nothing is wasted. Also, the next one is that companies and brands are trying to look out for alternative sources of raw materials to produce their products. And here I have gathered examples of brands using algae, which is actually seaweed, as a new type of raw material. Algae is so popular that I have decided to create a separate slide for that, showing that different things can be produced from that. Jason Momoa advertising algae sneakers on the first picture you can see. And the second and the third one demonstrate that algae can be used as a cultivated pork alternative, tuna alternative, beef alternative, or even sausages. So for people who are not only vegan but also eco-conscious, algae becomes a nice alternative to meat and to fish. Algae is not the only one raw material alternative. Brands are also experimented with other ones. Like, for example, you can see an example of the bamboo-made sleepwear on the first picture, banana-based sneakers on the second one. So brands are trying and playing around with different fabrics and different source materials to see what produces the best effect. Like, for example, banana plants turn out to be very durable, and they are used to produce sportswear and footwear, which turns out to be really efficient. But the most interesting concept for me is the dead stock fashion, which is on the last picture. Dead stock is leftover fabrics, like different bits and pieces of fabrics that are left from the production process and that are usually thrown away. But now in the new reality, brands gather them to create special capsules supporting ecology and becoming more and more popular. Moving to shopping habits. Shopping habits have been experiencing a lot of change, not only this year, but actually it started a couple of years ago when pandemic started. You probably all remember those times when everything closed down and everyone went online, and we had to change our shopping habits drastically. After that, pandemic restrictions weakened and we could actually go back to physical thing, and we realized how hungry we were for physical experiences. But all the benefits that the digital shopping gave us stay there as well. And it became a challenge for the brands to mix those to create experiences that will saturate our hunger for physical contact and also keep the benefits of digital shopping in place. And that was quite a challenge, and let's see how brands manage to deal with that. So, as I said, consumers keep being hungry for more immersive shopping experiences, and brands try to support this feeling by combining digital and physical touch points. An interesting trend is shoppable digital experiences, like the first one. For example, when you are inside some digital experience like a game or watching some video or just browsing some digital space, you can actually shop any item you can see there. For example, Mashable Home, which is shown on the first picture, is a virtual shopping experience where you can buy any item you see because it is from Walmart range. The second one is Digital Perfume by Victor and Rolf, who launched the world's first digital perfume sample, and you can experience how the perfume smells through a set of sounds produced by digital assets, and it is supposed to be creating a feeling of the perfume in your head. So that's an interesting example how brands use multisensory experiences to create the effect they need. I haven't tried it, but I'm going to definitely. Smart fabrics, the third picture, is another interesting piece of immersive experience for shoppers. Another interesting trend is that customers, especially younger ones, prefer brands that can hear them, that can listen to them, that want their opinion, and that is why crowdsourcing and co-creation become a point of differentiation, meaning that customers, especially young ones, they want their products customized, they want to express themselves, and they want brands to react. So brands who manage to do that become successful. Like, for example, the first picture shows Samsung's design studio, which can produce customized appliances based on customers' needs. Co-creation project of Nike is the second one, and the most interesting one for me is Lego Ideas. They have launched a campaign to gather ideas from their consumers, from their fans, and Lego has a very wide fan group. And it actually ended with Lego launching 23 dedicated Lego sets, which grew really popular and which were proposed and created by their consumers. So imagine yourself giving an idea to Lego company and having it produced. That gives you a sense of fulfillment, I guess, and you are a lifelong fan after that. Okay, moving from shopping to lifestyle. Here we'll cover a lot of aspects, and it's always interesting to see how our daily lives and small details change based on technologies and how they influence technologies in turn. The first one, if we talk about lifestyle in general, I guess the first largest trend we need to talk about is the cost of living crisis, which was greatly influenced by events of Boston this year, but it actually started a bit earlier, and people cannot help falling under the negative impact of that. It doesn't mean that people stop spending, they just stop wasting money. Consumers begin being more conscious and more careful and more cautious about how they spend and whether they're not wasting money on useless stuff. So brands react with creating apps, platforms, and services, helping people to save, helping people to manage their expenses, and helping people to monetize. For example, the first example shows Buy Now, Pay Later service by Sezzle. The second one shows IKEA loyalty savings program, helping loyal customers to have additional 500%. And for IKEA, it can be quite a large amount. And the last one shows monetizable live streaming, helping people actually earn money through live streaming. Another one is that exhaustion and burnout become a priority, especially taking into account the amount of negative news and negative events happening around us. So again, brands offer services, apps, and platforms to keep work-life balance, promote positivity, and keep you on track. The first picture shows 4 days working week, which becomes a new trend for many brands like Panasonic, or even for countries like Belgium. So hopefully it will reach our countries as well. I'm quite impatient for that. The second one is quite interesting. It's Heineken's bottle opener, which is digital and which shuts down all your work-related applications as soon as you open a bottle of beer, just like for you to be relaxing. And also another one is positivity-focused content and positivity-focused news management tools, helping you to stop doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is a term meaning that you can't stop reading negative news and you keep feeling overwhelmed by that. So to help you stop doom scrolling and focus on positivity, there are apps that help you filtrate good news and some lighter stuff for your brain just to feel better. Okay, this was about exhaustion. Let's have a look at another interesting trend about lifestyle, which is staying at home. It is, of course, pandemic related, by pandemic influenced by when pandemic was getting better and we were able to get to the offices. Some of us actually didn't. And staying at home, working from home, and spending a lot of time at home, stayed there as a trend for many people. And of course, brands reacted with creating a lot of products, services, and different setups to support this new home life, starting with work from home furniture, as you can see on the first picture, and ending with immersive home experiences, like you can see on the second picture. Celebration Home offers multi-sensory home dining experience, which they help you arrange. And if you go on their Instagram, you will be overwhelmed by the beauty they create in people's houses for them to be enjoying this beauty in the comfort of their home. Also, subscriptions are worth to be mentioned because the growth of people subscribing to services grew immensely throughout last years, and it is continuing to be growing. Another interesting thing to mention about lifestyle is about elderly age and elderly people. So elderly age is no longer considered a limitation because due to technology and due to healthy routines and wellness routines, your elderly life is much more active and comfortable than it was like 50 years ago. And of course, there are a lot of technologies that support that. More and more elderly people start using digital tools and applications. Like, for example, the first picture shows boomer targeted yoga apps for elderly people to exercise. Or the second one, a Goodnight Zoom storytelling platform, connects senior people to younger kids for them to chat, to tell a goodnight story. The last one shows longevity-focused diets. It's about Blue Zone's kitchen. Blue Zone is a concept, is actually a geographical concept. Blue zones are combining 5 areas on Earth. It's Okinawa, it's somewhere in Greece. I cannot remember exact points, but these are like 5 places on Earth where people are famous for their very long years. They live longer lives because of their healthy diets. So Blue Zone's dieting becomes trendy for people living in other areas of the Earth to be able to live longer lives as well. So elderly age becomes not something you need to be scared of, but something to be enjoying. Another interesting one is around pets. Again, pandemic influenced trend where people who went under self-isolation started having pets. They started purchasing pets, taking pets from shelter, and these pets, of course, stayed with them after pandemic. And now we can see that pets are taking more space in consumers' lives and budgets. So brands, again, cannot help but react. We can see special treats and drinks for pets, like, for example, the first picture shows Puppuccino by Starbucks, which is actually whipped cream, but it has gone viral in social media, everyone taking photos of their dogs with puppuccinos. Cannabidiol oils for dogs, relieving their hunger and anxiety, and even video chatting tools for chatting with pets when the owner is away. We can see that it will again be evolving and we will see more and more luxury treats and luxury products being bought by consumers for their pets. A couple of words about parenting. These actually are quite positive ones to tackle the negative ones mentioned by myself and Sergei earlier. So parenting consumers focus more on promoting healthy habits for their kids. both in hygiene, in eating, in student routines, and obviously numerous apps have been created for that. Like the first one is Hum Kids by Colgate to support toothbrush coaching, or the last one, Google Assistant's morning routines for students. Also, another set of apps is giving support to parents and their routines in different circumstances and backgrounds, like, for example, shared parenting, divorced parents, separated parents, ethnic minorities, LGBT parents. All of these parental couples need different approach, and brands react by creating apps and services for their specific situations. And we're moving to the last one, which is around health and healthy routines. Of course, obviously, mental health becomes in the spotlight last and this year. My Ukrainian colleagues will definitely support this one. It is widely promoted and supported by apps, routines, promo campaigns, and services. Starting with brands promoting them in their campaigns, like, for example, Puma partnered with the European Alliance Against Depression on the first picture, virtual meditation tools and apps, and mood-based podcasts on the last one. Digital detox becomes a new need for customers, and strangely for me, but people keep using or start using different tools and services to keep themselves detoxed from their phones. Like, for example, screen time management tools to keep you from scrolling, or Wi-Fi free retreats where you will not be able to connect to the internet and you will just have to spend the time detoxing, or even digital detox phone cases that will help, which will help you keeping your phone shut during a specific period of time when you learn, for example. So people, it turns out that people need assistance to keep themselves away from their phones for a specific period of time, and there is plenty of products and services to do that. Another one is high-tech healthcare routines. The first picture shows biofeedback monitoring devices. Your health tracking bracelets or some, I don't know, running trackers or heart rate trackers are belonging here. So all the devices that help you track your body functions, like, for example, Muse launched a headband to track your brain during meditation or sleeping. Of course, Metaverse has a huge place here, creating a whole spaces and even hospitals to have doctor appointments, get recommendations, or even video chats, or get prescriptions with doctors. Or, for example, the last one is interesting. It's neurostimulation modern devices, which are working like biofeedback, but the other way, vice versa. If biofeedback gets signals from your body, this one sends electrical currents to your brain, helping you focus and stimulating your brain activity. Like, for example, if you are learning to play piano or learning a foreign language, these devices help you do it faster. And last but not least, new hygiene routines, focusing at the same time on sustainability and personalization, helping you to choose products which fit you best, and at the same time, make sure you are not wasting extra water, like waterless hygiene kits, or zero waste dental flosses, Durapic, like, for example, on the last picture. And just to summarize all this, as you have probably noticed, most of the trends we have discussed are focusing on one of the three things. It's either convenience, making things fast and easy and smooth, in most cases through technology. The second point is smart consumption, saving everything you use, like saving your ecological assets, saving your health, saving your money, not wasting, but spending wisely. So, and the third one is freedom of choice as a lifelong philosophy, meaning that people need to be free of who they are and what choices they make around their body, around their parenting habits, etc. So it can be a really juggling for brands to to combine all these three aspects. But those brands who manage to do that become love marks. So whenever you are working on something, on a project, on a product, on a service, creating a smallest feature, try to think of it. Try to think what's behind it, what customer behaviors are behind it, what is driving force here. And probably, if you think deep enough, it will help you create a product or service or feature that will stick. Well, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the ride, and I will be happy to answer your questions.
Thanks, Anna. That was amazing. I should say that for me, kind of the perception and understanding of this one is that we are still at some juvenile / teenage stage when we are so interested but scared at the same time because we do not follow and understand it clearly. And even the word, I just caught myself on the thoughts that even the word robot is actually a little bit, unpredictable, scary something sometimes. But at the same time, while showing pictures, robot means honestly like the better version of coffee machine, or manicure or something. That's not scary. But for me, robot is always some anthropomorphic human-like something, and that even may sound a little bit scary and unpredictable, right? Like from some futuristic Blade Runner movies. Probably that's just my mental deformation. That's interesting thing.
Actually, I feel scary as well, especially like my scary point is when I read or see devices that go around biomonitoring or sending some electronic signals into your brain or controlling your brain somehow. But I understand that it is already happening, and there are just kind of only two options for us. Either we realize that and lead on that. Either we're in the front of that, or we just react and drag behind, and it doesn't feel like a nice option.
Yeah, same. That's interesting. But anyway, that was so great that you shared so many cases, and honestly, they're not so obvious without digging deeper. So that was amazing.
Yeah,
to really realize the impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are running out of time. I can see plenty of comments in chat. I will try my best to reply to them later on because I guess most of us have to jump to another meetings. I can see someone raising a hand. You're welcome to join, to chime in. No, it's already switched off. Okay, it was great having you all today, especially those from different time zones. You're welcome to reach out to me with any extra additional questions, or I will be happy to share some reports on that or some links, and we'll be happy to see you on my next events. Have a nice Tuesday.